So, final team reveal today. It is the Wednesday as I'm recording this. I've got me paper and stuff down here with my team all written down, and I'm very, very excited to finally get into it. Starting off with the defenders. I'm not going to try to talk too much about every player like I have been the past two videos, going through mainly every player in the competition that I think is relevant for SuperCoach, because I've basically done that. It's going to take too much time. I just want to get into my final team. So, we got Nick Dacos, Harry Sheasel, Hayden Young. So, these are the premium defenders I've chosen to go with. Obviously, Dacos played on the weekend, did well and everything. Sheasel, I'm still kind of speculative on him, but when you look at the ownership, my real plan for navigating this year is, especially in the start of the year, go with the crowd. Don't do anything too risky. I think maybe that can come later in the season, but for now, I just want to play it safe. And even though I honestly do kind of like a Jaden Short more than a Harry Sheasel, he's got 6% ownership compared to 47%, and that kind of disagrees with the rule I just told you, the principle that I'm going to be trying to follow this year of going with the crowd for the most part. So that's why we're going with Sheasel. And Hayden Young, again, I think he can increase his average, probably to 100, 105. We'll see. Then, going into rookies. We can just do this by ownership. So, Zach Williams played quite well in his game on the weekend. I didn't see too much of it, but at his price, for what he can do, I think I am going to go with him. Next, Zach Reed. So, I think he is pretty much locked into Essendon's team, so job security is obviously really good, so definitely going to be going with him. Another guy who just played on the weekend, well actually Zach Reed didn't play, but Blake Howes did, 91, obviously he's got that in his scoring system now and everything, so his price should definitely go up quite a lot from that. And he's not locked into Melbourne's team. I am a little bit skeptical on his job security, but at least for the first 5-6 weeks of the season, I do see him getting games. And if he can still pump out maybe 60s to 70s most weeks, his price should go up a decent bit. And then on the bench, Gibkiss. Look, didn't play too badly. He's got a 76 in his system. And, the ball was down there a lot. And Richmond's midfield just got absolutely obliterated. The defenders actually, not all the defenders, Grimes got monstered, but, Gibkiss didn't play too badly. And I think he should definitely be capable of getting up to, 300k for us. And then last defender spot, Caulfield. It's pretty crazy looking at it. All my 8 defenders are the topmost 8 popular. I guess that just goes to show most people are going pretty safe and pretty similar in the backline this year. So, yeah, we're going with Caulfield. Not too much needs to be said. Again, he's debuting for the Bulldogs this weekend. And, yeah, choosing to go with him over other guys I could go with, like a Phillips or something like that. I think I'd rather back in Caulfield. I don't think he's too bad, to be honest. I know a lot of people are skeptical on his job security and even his scoring potential. To be honest, I think he'll go 60 to 65 at least. And, yeah, pretty decent job security. Now, into the midfield. So I have chosen to fade Marcus Bontempelli. It's been a really difficult choice, and honestly, I would love to have him in the team. It's not that I don't think he's going to do well. I definitely think he will. And especially in that West Coast game he's got early in the season, I'm just hoping he doesn't put up 200, because that's really going to hurt. But just with the structure of the team, 724k is a lot. And I've chosen to go with 4 premium mids besides him that aren't going to be Marcus Bontempelli. With the first one being Jordan Dawson. Look, just played sublimely throughout the preseason. Was, going nowhere near his best even. So that filled me with a lot of confidence to be able to select him. Zach Butters, bit of an injury, in the last preseason game against Fremantle. But he would have kept playing if it was a regular home and away season game. They've got a soft run early, and I just like him better than any of the other guys that I'm not selecting here that are premiums, besides probably like a Bont. But again, it's too much cash for me. Sarong. Look, not many people are selecting Sarong. 9%. But I honestly think he's just really consistent. He's got a great midfield role, just racks it up. Just a really safe pick in my opinion. And the next guy, Tom Green. Oh, just a bull. Just absolutely insane on the weekend, seeing everything that he does. And yeah, his ownership is also rocketed to 40%. So yeah, no, really good seeing him play and everything like that. Next up, we're getting into some mid prices now. I've gone heavy in the midfield. I haven't really seen many people go with 4 type of premiums, 4 genuine premiums, but I am choosing to. And the next guy we've got is Nick Martin. So obviously pretty high ownership as well now, 25%. Everyone's seeing that half-back role. I think he'll be quite good. He's been able to score anywhere he has been playing on the ground. Forward, back, wing, even inside midfield in the limited time he's got there. So he can score. We know he can score. And getting that really good role now off half-back should hopefully definitely increase that average now with more opportunity just to be completely offensive and doesn't really have to do any defending whatsoever. Next up, getting into some rookies. So we are starting off with McKercher, obviously. Great role and everything, as everyone I'm sure is going with him. Next guy, Sanders, obviously really good through preseason. Doesn't need much to say there. Huswaite, I do think he'll be good. Not sure I'll start him on the ground. I might actually go with the next guy who I'm showing, which is Roberts. Might start him on the ground over Huswaite. Not completely sure on that yet, but maybe interchange them depending on what matchups they have and everything week to week. And the next guy we're going with, Wilson, obviously. I'm sure everyone knows. Played really well in the preseason. 63% average, or 63% ownership. Doesn't really need to be said too much. And the last guy, Jai Clark. Look, I am quite skeptical on him, and I actually don't really want to start him. But going back to the rule I was saying earlier of just going with the crowd for the most part, he does have 55% ownership, and even though I don't really see it, to be honest, right now in him, I'm just going to go with the crowd on this one and select him there. It does mean that I fade a guy, well, we'll get to him later, but yeah, a guy like Charlie Lazaro, who I am choosing to fade with this team, just because I don't really have a spot for him right now, and it's kind of him or Clark, and I am choosing to go Clark. Into the ruck line. So I'm just staying consistent, not letting round 0 fool me or anything, just going with Gawn. Look, he was going well in the first half, and then Grundy got him in the second half. But in the first half, he was playing very well. I think he was on 50 or 60 at halftime. Just had a very poor second half. But even take it a week back to Carlton in the preseason, when he absolutely monstered Pitnet and De Koning. Seriously, he's still really good. So not gonna fade him or anything. And then going with Grundy, obviously, great round 0 game, instilled a heap of confidence in me. And lastly, on the bench, we are going to go with Naismith. Played well, obviously, 93, outscored Gawn by quite a lot on the weekend. So, I'm not sure when Nankervis comes back. Don't think it really matters, to be honest. None of the other rookie rucks fill me with a heap of confidence. Not really sure what any of their job security's like, whether they're even going to get games, maybe besides Jordan Sweet or something. But really, maybe even a Toby Conway. But yeah, I think Naismith is probably the best option out of all of them so far. And into the forward line. We're going with 2 premiums here. A lot of people aren't, but I've seen some teams that don't have any premiums. I've seen some teams that only have 1. We're going to go with 2. And, that's going to be a Luke Jackson with the news of Darcy being out. I've seen some reports saying he's out 3 to 4 weeks, some 6 to 8 weeks. Look, I'm not exactly sure. I tend to think it's going to be more towards the longer side, though, 6 to 8 weeks. And I think in that kind of timeline, having Jackson is just going to be such an advantage over the rest of the competition. I actually didn't realise how highly he scored last year with Darcy not on the team. But it looked like it was something like a 110, 115, maybe even 120 average. It was quite insane. So I'm definitely going to be going with him. Next guy, Flanders. Look, I don't really know what the ranking goes out of him and all the other Gold Coast midfielders, Miller, Rowell, Anderson. But he's definitely on par with all of them. They're all super good. They're literally like the Western Bulldogs midfield from 5 years ago, or even just 3 years ago, with Liberatore, Dunkley, McRae, Bontempelli, Smith, all those type of guys. Really strong midfield in there. And yeah, like this Gold Coast midfield, yeah, jam-packed, really is. And I think they can all score well, like that Bulldogs midfield used to. Next guy, getting into some mid-prices. Fisher. So yeah, 35% of people, again, just trying to go with the crowd. That's my strategy for the most part here, as I'm sure probably most people are, even if they're not trying to strategize it or anything. Probably most people are just doing the same. And Fisher, again, I'm a little bit skeptical on the injury kind of front and everything like that, the durability. But if he's going to play, as we saw in the preseason, the first preseason game he played a half and he still probably scored, or he still had like nearly 20 possessions, I think. And in the second game, he scored like 130 or something in SuperCoach. So if he's going to play, he's going to score. And, maybe he only plays for the first 8 to 10 rounds before he gets injured or something. But that'll definitely be enough. We have 40 trades this year, so you definitely can't take risks. Now the next guy, James Jordan. So look, 81 on the weekend, which is quite good. In the first half, I was kind of worried because he was barely sighted, but he really picked it up in the second half. I think once Sydney really started to get a run on, again, like Grundy also picked it up along the second half. And again, high ownership, so it's quite an obvious pick for me. Then going into some rookies finally now. Harley Reid, obviously, quite an obvious pick. Most picked player in the game. Not much more needs to be said. Then we got Alex Sexton, 58%. Obviously just a super offensive role. Like this guy, the way he charges off the half-back flank, just at centre bounce and everything. Like he does not need to do any defending whatsoever in his role. And clearly he's working for Gold Coast with the way they won on the weekend against Richmond. So, yeah, I think, he'll definitely have that role at least for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Maybe Gold Coast chooses to switch it up in the future or something. Who knows? But for now, he's got it and definitely a lock in the team. And the last 2 roles we have on the bench is just Dempsey, and we have... we'll talk about Dempsey first. Look, I think he'll definitely take a big step this year. As you can see, only the 5 games last year, 33 average. I think a few of those he was either subbed on or subbed off. And I just think he'll pretty much be a mainstay in their team, and he'll definitely be able to increase his average, probably to around maybe 55, 65, something like that. But I just think the job security and, maybe in a few games he can score above 80 and really get his price up. So, seems in good form from the preseason, so there's no reason to think why not. And, I think that he's not a good option to start with. So, going to go with him. And the last spot, played on the weekend, it is Cadman. So, yeah, again, decent bit of ownership, 21%. And yeah, I think he'll even get some a little bit of ruck time, resting ruck time when Briggs is off the ground and everything. And I think he's got pretty good job security this year. Last year he wasn't too good, was subbed off in quite a lot of games, I believe, and just not playing in a lot of games. And 22 average, it's not that good, but looks like he's improved, and I think he'll score a lot more. So that should be really beneficial for us. So that's the team. As you guys can see, 25k in the bank, still a little bit, not too much. And captaincy wise for this week, we'll probably go... Not sure if Sydney have a tagger right now, or if they'd even go for a tag. But, I'd look at a Dawson, but Gold Coast midfield is just that strong. I'd honestly probably go maybe a Butters against West Coast. Look, he was a little bit injured, but I think I'll wear it, and risk it a little bit. I think I'll probably go... actually, I don't even have a loophole, do I, for this week? Yeah, okay, that's a little bit interesting. We might see what happens. I might do, because Dacos' game's on the Friday night, I might just pick him. We'll put VC on him, and then if he doesn't play that well, then we'll go captaincy on Butters. But if he does, maybe we go instead of a Naismith, maybe we go someone like a Conway, or maybe we go, some other type of ruck or something like that. That maybe not be playing this week, they might not be playing this week, or a Sweet. They might not be playing this week, but may play in the future. We'll see. We'll see our options. Depends. If Dacos drops like a 170 or something, then it is probably worth doing that. If he scores maybe a 120 or something, then probably not, and probably worth risking it on either Butters or Dawson or Green. Green could be a really good option as well against North. I might actually just go on Green, to be honest with you. Yeah. I probably won't do that. I probably won't do that with Naismith, though. I'll probably keep him there. And so, yeah, we'll probably just line up like this for this week. So I think that should be quite good. Buys, look, a lot of people are like, hey, you've got a lot of people playing buys and everything. If we count them up, I'd have 1, 2, this is early season buys, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But honestly, it doesn't even matter. We got a few on the bench as well. Another 1, 2, 3, 4. But you get best 18 in those weeks, and I'll have people that can cover on the bench. So it's not that big a deal. I'm not really fretting over buys or anything. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with signing all of these guys. And yeah, I think it should be completely okay. So just a quick video here. The final team as we're going into 2024. Exciting. Very exciting. So yeah, hopefully you guys all enjoy this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.